Good morning, Quiet Confidence community. It's Jen. I'm excited to be here, and I'm really excited about the topic this morning because it's Wednesday at 10. The dog must want to bark. Because I think this topic is something that is going to be like taking one of those heavy weights off your shoulders. And when we're all trying to have a lightweight life, as far as not having that heavy feeling, then this is something that I have to remind myself often. Okay, so let's have this conversation about some things are black and white. It's true. Some things are black and white. But in my journey of life and in my 20 plus years in direct selling, one of the things that I've learned about most is that most things are not black and white. Black and white makes it really easy for everybody. Let me make this sense. Black and white makes it really easy for the person, but really hard on everybody else. Does that make sense? I didn't blend my bronzer very well. Black and white makes it really easy for the leader, but makes it really confusing for the rest of the people that they're trying to lead. Black and white is like a blanket statement. But the people you're putting the blankets over are confused as heck, okay? So let's talk a little bit more about this. This might also be known as trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And when this first hit me, wouldn't you agree? We're business owners. We want success. We want to learn from the people that have gone before us who are successful, right? So and we're open to learning. We're here, we're showing up, teach me. I just want to be this great student so that I can get to the goals that I have. And it was a couple of years ago when everybody in my circle was reading a book called The Miracle Morning. And so I'd never had some thoughts about how you start off your day is really important because it kind of sets you up for the rest of the day. So that thought in itself was a new and helpful thought that I could see how doing some things in the morning could really get you off to a great start. And so I adopted that learning. I put it into play. Where I saw frustration in myself, maybe some of you, if you've ever had this frustration, and the book is good. I'm not bashing the book or Hal Elrod. He's great too. What I'm saying is when you are so excited about being successful that you're willing to do anything, including trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and you are determined that you're going to make that work, all you're doing is shredding your soul, pretty much. There's no peace, there's no joy, there's no contentment, there's no enjoying the journey. It's hard and it's frustrating and it's hard and it's not happy. And, you're giving yourself ulcers and all of these things. Okay, so square peg, round hole, black, white. The idea that I want to learn, I want to glean knowledge from those people that went before me, they want to help me. Let's look at not a do it this way for success kind of a thing. Let's look at it as, okay, what part of this works for me? Okay, remember this is the first step in the framework, the Success for Introverted framework, Introverted Success Framework. This is the first step is knowing yourself, right? Okay, so we're knowing ourselves. We know what we're going after. We know why. We know what it is we're looking for, how we're looking to serve, bringing that great energy out there. We learned something that could help us. Kicking your morning off in a great way is fabulous. Where it gets detrimental, perhaps, is that the idea that this successful author, speaker, business owner rolls out this idea, and it may not have been his intent, that the way he rolled it out is the only way to do it. That might not have been the intent. I don't remember exactly if he said, this was work for me, you play around with it. He may have said that. What's dangerous is when somebody adopts this idea and says, this is the only way I will reach success. If I do this, and he has like step by step, I must do this, I must do this, I must do this, I must do this every morning. So how it kind of came with me is he has this step-by-step process, and it's an acronym. And I think it's a great framework. But where it got frustrating for me was that in order for me to wake up the way I feel best waking up, in order for me to be available in the way I want to be available for the rest of my family when they wake up, and the way I want to run my life and my business after I drop the kids off from school, this rigid black and white ideal that was being suggested, it wasn't working for me. And so the same feeling happens when you're being taught extroverted ways to do things as an introvert. It doesn't work. And so before we are aware, your initial feeling is, I'm not good enough. Why can't I figure this out? What's wrong with me, right? So what I wanted to talk about today is that whole black and white thing in life, how it's important. There's some things that are very black and white. We don't kill people. We don't steal things, those things, right? But the rest of the stuff is gray. And while that can lead to fear, like, well, what is the answer? It also leads for us to be more faithful in our walk with God, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I do know some things. This one, I don't know. But when you are knowing yourself well enough, the first step in the framework, you can sense a groove that's going to serve you better than another groove, which is just causing frustration. I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I got all this. So if you guys have any questions or comments, or if you felt like you've had these feelings before, I sure would love to know. So feel free to drop some comments when you watch this. My wrap up here is learn. Enjoy the learning journey. Enjoy that whole feeling of growth and putting into practice what you learn right away. Learn it, take action on it, teach it. Those three things will help it really stick in your brain a lot longer. But be very cognizant, discernment. Use discernment. That's actually one of my spiritual gifts. By the way, if you haven't taken a spiritual gift assessment, that's really helpful, because it kind of solidifies how God made us. So you might want to do that. Anyways, take the idea and then chew on it for a bit. What's the overwhelming idea that I can take the idea and hone it for myself? Is this going to work? Is this not going to work? If it's not going to work, stop beating yourself up over it. Find a way that it'll work for you. So, would you like to know my morning routine? Okay, great. I've taken the ideas. I've found what will work for me and what doesn't work for me in this season of life. Because would you not agree we go through different seasons? Okay, so in the season of life, I get up about an hour before my children, because I personally like to have food and coffee and read by myself before anybody needs anything. Okay. That's just me. I need an hour. More would be great, but then I would be getting up at 3:30 instead of 4:30. Okay. I know that I'm a morning person, so I like to get up early. That's a good thing too. Do I meditate in the morning? No, because I would fall asleep. And once I realized that's not that I'm doing it wrong, that's just how I'm built, I can meditate later. Okay. Do I read like how-to books in the morning, like teach myself? No, because that I learn all day. I love learning all day. I can be just chill in the morning. Do I exercise before I eat? Never. I get up and I eat and have coffee, and then I might do some light stretching. Usually what I do is I drop the kids off at school and then I do some yoga, because I found that yoga, this is a whole nother black and white thing. I found that yoga can not only increase my heart rate without me bouncing around all over the place. It also helps me with my breathing. It also helps me with my meditation. And it also helps me with my flexibility and strength. So that just is what works for me. Okay. And then what do I do? There's 4 or 5 things he suggests. Oh, journaling. I'm not writing the first thing in the morning. I'm not going to do that. I usually do it around lunchtime. When I journal, it's usually in the middle of the day when I'm taking a break from thinking of working and all of that. I take a break and it's kind of rejuvenating. So, is it good to have a great routine in the morning that you feel good about? Yes. Is it important that you get off to a great start? Yes. But it's not worth your mental fragility to take an idea and say, I must do it this way, or I think that's terrible. Okay, wrapping it up. I was going to say something else here, but now I don't remember what it is. So this week on Instagram, I'm talking about that first rung in the Introvert Framework for Success, and it's very flexible, but it's very important. Knowing yourself, okay? Knowing yourself, asking yourself some great questions, super important. And the only other thing that I was going to tell you about is coming mid-May. I'm developing it right now. The offer from the thing that we did last Saturday, the expansion of the framework, there was an offer for a 90-minute kind of a breakdown on how you can take the framework ideas and put it to work in your business. There was a 90-minute thing, and that's going through the end of the month. That'll be up there, available to participate in. And until the end of the week, I still have the 15-minute spots available too for you if you want to just chit chat to see if that 90-minute intensive is an idea, a good plan for you. But through this month, I'm going to be putting out a plan that if you want to work with me one-on-one in the development of this framework for you, I think that would be super helpful. Because I have definitely needed some one-on-one time, because I come up with the craziest questions that it's difficult to ask in a small amount of time. So, but if you were to work with somebody one-on-one in a situation like this, what kind of a layout would you like? Would you like a once a week communication? Would you like any accountability around the process? Would you like any materials? Do you find that materials would be helpful to you? But I would love to get some feedback from you. So here is to a great Wednesday. Cheers that nobody came while I was talking. And we will see you here soon, okay? Have a great day, you guys.